I'm Dr. Michael Hurst, and I'm here to talk to you about stress. I know not everybody is stressed out. In fact, none of us have any stress in this whole room, do we? Anyhow, what I'm going to talk about is what are the factors of stress and how you can actually calm your stress down by 3 different techniques. So we're going to go through each one of these individually. So stress is defined as a feeling of emotion or physical tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. In short bursts, stress can be positive, such as when you are avoiding danger or when you're meeting a deadline. I don't think too many of you think of that as stress, but that's more of what stress looks like. Just a jumbled old mess. You can't get through anything. You have people talking to you. You have deadlines. You have everything going on. And it's just one of those things that you just can't handle it. There are many different causes of stress, which can be different for every single individual. Everybody in here might have some of the same stressors, but most of the time, the stressors are different for each individual and they're yours personally. We're going to define some different ways. From stress, you can be from personal, it can be from work, it can be from family, it can be from food, and it can be from environment. Let's talk about personal stress first. These are things that are being brought on by your own self. These are things that you might create in your own head, or you might think somebody said something and interpret it completely different than the way they did it. Others, I call that the overactive mind, because you're putting in things that's making your mind spin, even though that's not really what it is. These things can be caused by something you hear, something you smell, something you see, and maybe even taste. These are personal past experiences that come up, and that's what's really going on, is the personal experiences that come in to play a part. Everybody's probably seen this. It is a picture of an iceberg, a little bit on top, and a lot underneath it. That's us. That's our personal thing. Everybody sees the top part, but inside us is that another 90%. And that's the thing that can cause some of the stress. Work stress. Work stress can be your boss. It can be caused by coworkers. It can be caused by clients, patients. I know, most of you aren't any stressors to me, are you? Then there's phone that can be a stress, the computer that can be a stress, the daily stuff in your life. Dogs, cats, traffic, all of that adds to stress. Your family can cause stress. Your spouse, kids, animals, cooking, cleaning, laundry, bills, all that adds up into stress. So it depends on how you interpret everything is what makes your stressful day or night. Food can also be a stressor. Food affects your body. If you eat something that's not healthy for you, it can cause inflammation. So the inflammation then is a stressor on your system, which can make you lethargic, down, not feeling well. There's so many different aspects of inflammation in the body that can really bring on stress, physical and emotional. Environmental stress, such as traffic, pollution, lights, technology, all of that stress, the radioactive waves that we're getting right now, can cause stress on the body, which is a different type of inflammation. But it's these things that we actually need to consider of how to really reduce the amount of stress that we do take in on a daily basis. How to take stress out of our lives? There's 3 ways that I'm going to teach you tonight. The first way is called switching. It is the center and balance of the mind and body. The second is finger holds. And the third is emotional freedom technique, EFT. So we're going to play this video first, or actually I'm just going to show you what switching is. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit in the chair. You're going to cross your right hand over your right foot over your left foot. And you're going to sit with your hands just comfortably on your lap. Then you're going to extend the hands out. Turn your thumbs down. Cross the right hand over the left and interlock your fingers. And then I want you to bring it up and into you, holding this position. Now you're all seated doing this with the right leg crossed over the left. And you're just going to close your eyes and you're going to take a couple of deep breaths. Going to let it in and out. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just repeat this a few times. Just listen to your breath and nothing else. Not my voice, just your breath. I want you to slowly uncross your hands. Rest them back down on your knees. Uncross your feet and see how you feel. So that's what we call switching. Switching is a way just to get relaxation into the body. Take away some of that stress. The next one of stress is on finger holds. Each one of these fingers has a representation. Your thumb carries worry. Your index finger carries fear. Your middle finger calls anger, which we kind of express sometimes on the road. Our ring finger is our sadness, and the pinky is classified as nervousness, but also it is labeled as feeling small or lack of self-esteem. So we're going to go through each one of these individually. So the thumb first is worry. It's sadness. It's fears. It's grief. It's emotional pain that you hold within yourself. So I want you to just grab your thumb, either hand, right to left or left to right. It doesn't matter. I typically grab right to left. And just hold that. You're going to feel a pulsation in your thumb. It could be slow. It could be fast. You might not feel a pulse at first. But as you hold it, it's going to start to pulsate. And with that pulsation, that's the energy coming through. Typically, children can hold this for 1 to 2 minutes and start to feel the pulsation and relaxation. For adults, it's typically 3 to 5 minutes. So just hold that, letting all your fears go. Think of yourself and let all those worries go into a different area. Let's move to the next finger. That's your ring finger. Your index finger, sorry. It's your index finger. Your index finger is fear, panic, terror. Hold that and just think, what are you afraid of? and let that go. Let that fear go. Let that terror go. Let that panic go. And just hold on to that finger until you feel the pulsations coming in. Let's go ahead and move to our middle finger, which we all know is anger. We've expressed that before. With that, it also comes with rage and resistance. I want you just to hold that finger. And it's kind of an action and reaction. So just hold that finger. Sometimes our rage can be transferred into what we stand for. And make that an action if we want. Just hold on to that finger till you feel the pulsations and let that go. Let all of these feelings go back into the ground and not in your body anymore. The ring finger is what is known as sadness. It's also worry and anxiety. Hold on to that finger. Breathe in. Exhale. And let all that energy and let peace come into your body and be at rest. Take a couple more breaths in. Let it go in, let it go out, and let's move to the pinky. The pinky is the smallest. It is the one that is nervousness, but it also is the lack of self-esteem. This is when it is negative messages that have been brought to you all the time. Day in, day out. Could be when you were a kid, could be when you were older, could be somebody said the other day, whatever it is. That is your little finger. So let's just sit back with that. Let all that negativity go. Feel that energy going back into the ground through your feet. Let it travel out your body. Take a couple more deep breaths and let that go. So that is finger holds. This is a great way just to do things in private. You can do it at your desk. You can do it, hopefully not in a car when you're driving. You can do it in your room, just in a quiet space where you can actually get out, away from everybody, and have a little peace to yourself. Now you'll notice on all of these, the thumb, worry, the fear with the index, the anger with the middle finger, the sadness on the ring finger, the nervousness or feeling of small self-esteem on the pinky, they all have, from acupuncture points and pressure points, stomach and spleen for worry, which is the thumb, fear, which is the ring index finger, which is kidney and bladder, anger, which comes from liver and gallbladder, sadness in your ring finger comes from the lung and colon, and the little finger is your nervousness or your lack of self-esteem, is your heart and small intestine. So they all kind of play a big role in your health also. And this is something that's really critical, is to be able to de-stress so you don't affect any of these organs that are taking place. The next slide is on Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT. And each one of these points that are up here have a representation. So So we'll discuss some of those points first. I need notes for this. So the first points right above your eye, or on your eyebrows, right into the end of the eyebrow on both sides, is crisis. So it's basically just any crisis that's coming up is in that spot. The angle of the eye on the side over there and there, so it's on the, kind of like go to the temple and then at the crease of the eye right there, that's the other spot, and that is anger and rage. Anger and rage. The spot underneath the eye, if you go directly underneath your eye from the pupil and right underneath, that one is for guilt and addiction. The spot right underneath the nose, right in the center, is another crisis point. The one on your chin has many different points. It's actually for hypertension. It's for blood pressure. It is for fainting. And it can also be used for epilepsy episodes. The next point is actually down here, underneath the arms. You just kind of take your fists, cross them underneath, and tap underneath the arms with your fingers. It's about the 6th and 7th rib underneath there. You'll find it's kind of a tender spot when you start tapping it. Some of the other spots aren't as tender. That spot will be. And that spot is actually a crisis point also. And then the last point is right here, just underneath your clavicles. And you can tap that, and that is fear and trauma. So let's just go and hit every single one of these points first. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit with your feet on the ground, and you're going to tap each point approximately 9 to 12 times. Oh, I forgot something. Sorry. The hand here, there's 2 more points, and those 2 points are for a reversal of cognition. So all the negativity that you've been told or you feel like you're in, you can tap those points at the very end. And we're actually going to say a little thing that's going to be, in spite of the fact I have this problem, I am okay, and I accept myself. So you're going to do a little affirmation for yourself on that point. And you're going to repeat that probably 3 times. Actually, not probably. You will repeat that 3 times. And that will really help. Now, when you start tapping, what you want to do is get a generalized feeling of how stressed or how anxious you are. There's a scale of anxiety from 0 to 10 and where you are on that scale. And what you want to do is find out, can you bring that down as low as you can by doing the tapping for that episode? So if you're having an anxiety episode about something, think of that episode, and we're going to go through that tapping. Now you're going to rate it 0 to 10 now. You don't have to say it out loud, and just kind of give us an idea. And then we're going to start the tapping. So let's go to the first point, just inside the eyebrows by the nose. So we're going to tap that. And now you're going to move to the outside of the eyes by the temple. Now you're going to move underneath your eyes. Now you're going to use right or left hand, it doesn't matter, underneath the nose. Now you're going to move to the chin. Now you're going to go underneath your arms. Now you're going to go in your clavicle. Just underneath it, actually, by the sternum. And then we're going to go to the last point. In spite of the fact I have this problem, I'm okay and I accept myself. In spite of the fact that I have this problem, I am okay and I accept myself. In spite of the fact I have this problem, I am okay and I accept myself. And I know some of you were kind of looking at that line and where to go. You'll find a line coming across your palm. It's that line just underneath the pinky. So you have the joint and then you have that line there. That's that line. So after that first time, let's see how you did. Re-rank yourself on that scale of 0 to 10 and see how you felt with that problem. Some of you might feel better, some didn't change much at all. So we're going to run through that again. Normally you'll do this 2, 3, 4 times, maybe even 5, depends on how you can bring that stress level down. And sometimes if that doesn't work, I go back to the finger holds. Okay? So let's just go through this one again. So inside the eyebrows, corners of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath your chin, underneath your arms. I like to cross my arms over. And underneath the clavicle. All right. So we're going to leave it at that one, and you guys can practice this on your own also. But how many of you do feel a little bit better now that you've done that? How many feel more relaxed and you're not really wound up as tight as when you first came in here? Hopefully everybody. Good, good. All right, so last slide. I know this is sideways, but you have it in your form. Basically everything, this is how it relates to chiropractic. Every single vertebra here are related to different organs or areas in your body. It can be your shoulders, it could be the colon, it could be your heart, it could be the pituitary. Every single one of these coming down has a specific body part that it goes to, whether it's an organ or extremity. So the way I relate some of this stress is that by teaching you these and then coming in and getting some of these adjusted, those that are out, are going to really help relieve the stress even that much more. So do the techniques and see how it feels for you. If you feel like you need more help, come see me and I'll help with the rest. And we can talk about how you need to refine your technique if you need to. All right? Thank you very much. You guys have a great night.